Well, good evening and welcome to the Town Hall Get to Know show. I am appreciative of the fact that you've taken time to come and join me. Sounds like we had a little bit of glitching there on the video, so welcome to live video. It's always got some interesting things that will happen, but we're glad that you're here. Tonight, we're talking with the number one Next Impactor from last year, Tamara L. Hunter. I'm so pleased that she's going to be with us tonight. We're going to be talking about her nonprofit foundation. We're also going to be talking about cancer. We're going to be talking about the fact that you do not have to face cancer alone. I don't think that there's anybody out there that actually doesn't know somebody that's had cancer or has been through cancer or is going through cancer. Um, doesn't matter which type of treatment that you might be using. We're going to be talking about it tonight. We're going to be offering some solutions. We're also here to take your questions. If you have questions or comments and you're watching on Facebook, please put them in the comments, and we'll be trying to get to as many of those comments as we possibly can. And we'd like to ask you, if you've got a smart TV, you can watch this on Roku. You can watch it on Amazon Fire, Apple and Android TV by downloading the E360 TV app. We are streaming to Facebook. We're streaming to the E360. We're streaming to my website, to YouTube, and we appreciate you. And you can watch us on your smart TV if you have one. Otherwise, just go to my website, LWN Foundation. You can go to the live stream tab there. That'll take you to YouTube, and you can watch up there. So without further ado, I'd like to go ahead and bring the fabulous Tamara L. Hunter into the studio.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. How are you doing tonight, Stephen?
I'm doing well. I'm happy now that you're here and that we're able to do the show this evening. That's an awesome thing. I've been looking forward to this evening. We're talking about a subject that can bring a lot of pain for a lot of people, and we're aware of that. And so I'm going to ask viewers right now, if you're watching Facebook or YouTube, do share this video out, right? Share it to your friends if you know somebody that can benefit, because we're going to be giving you some solutions. We're going to be sharing some of your comments as well. Share this video out to your friends and to the groups that you belong to if you're watching on Facebook and YouTube, because this is a difficult subject. So, Tamara, why don't we start by you just telling a little bit about yourself, your background, and help the viewers to familiarize themselves with you so that they can get to know you.
Thank you very much, Stephen. And I want to recognize that we have some of our buddies showing up right now. Some of our ambassadors. We have our first ambassador of the chat, Helene Wilson, and we have one of our senior ambassadors, Carol Betterzins, with us, and thrilled to have that support. You see, that's what it's all about. I am from Southern California. That's where I am currently still. And I'm one of those people that, just girl next door that ended up hearing 3 words way too many times. You have cancer, for myself and family members. In fact, if I was in a room right now with all of your audience, I would be asking them these questions. So I'm going to still ask them. Do you or anyone you know, have you or anyone you know ever heard you have cancer? If so, I want you to just kind of like stand up, raise your hand, woohoo, whatever it may be. Okay, yes. Now,
Yep.
Typically I look through the room, and many times I don't have to go to the second question, Stephen. Yet, if I do, the next question always is, do you know someone that knows someone that has cancer? By that time, doesn't matter. small, big auditorium, it doesn't matter how many people are in that room, they're all standing. And so, of course, then I thank them for the standing, standing with me. I could ask for an ovation, but, it's just started, I just started talking. So
You
the
deserve
bottom
an
line,
ovation,
well,
Tamara.
thank
So
you. Yes, you have, Helene, and many of us have. I've heard those words for myself. I've heard them for family members, and and the bottom line is that I was one of the lucky ones. I found my purpose my very first day of treatment because I almost I had a severe allergic reaction. My face started, it was on fire, and my throat started closing up. My eyes, I couldn't open them, and then so it was like, "Are you okay?" I'm thinking, and I understand why that universal, you go through the throat because that's how I felt, and thinking I'm not so okay because I was being woke up out of a fog. And that moment in time changed my destiny. And it was the gift of the present of that day. And from that day on, it was an evolution to the point where then finally my doctors and nurses suggested that I do something. So I have. So, little girl, small town girl from, Southern California, one horse town, ends up starting a nonprofit to change the world.
wow. That's so awesome. I love the fact that you've done that now. So you went through a journey and you were diagnosed and you heard those words, you have cancer.
Yeah.
How did you feel when you first heard that, Tamara?
Well, that's the question. When I first heard it, I actually heard it from my brother. We were in our 20s, and he was diagnosed with melanoma, the really bad skin cancer. And we are the only two. We're 17 months apart. So they're checking me and they're burning me and doing all this stuff and letting us know how serious it was. The next one was my grandfather, my hero. He was like my dad. I heard for him and lost him. He gained his wings. And then the next one was for my daughter. That was between my grandfather and my daughter. Those were the hardest ones to ever hear. She was 19. She is alive. She's doing well. And then we heard it for me. And when I heard it for me, by then I was like, okay, bring it on. Let's do this. And my cancer, all of our cancers, it's different. Mine was breast cancer, and I'm the poster child on what not to do. You don't want to follow my lead because I was too old, and I was lucky. I was really lucky, and I know it that we caught it in time, and that I'm alive because I was being stubborn to go get that mammogram. I'm like, I've got this. I'm doing other stuff. I don't have time for that. That is the wrong attitude. I was a lucky one. And so when I heard it for me, I thought, okay, the jig may be up. So, so I was joking around. It was like, okay, if by chance I don't make it, I gain my wings, we have a lake down the street, just put me out for a Viking send off, have a barbecue, go ahead, light the arrow, send it off. And my little grandson was a little guy, and he loved Mickey Mouse Club, and I was teasing that. Oh, and then you could sing hot dog, hot diggity dog, problem solved, because it was like, okay, humor. You gotta laugh, and I just faced it with humor. And then the last one I heard is the reason why I'm doing. It's the why behind the why. My mom, she ended up with multiple myeloma, which is bone marrow cancer. And her story is not a happy, funny one. Hers is one that still to this day grips me. And I knew then when I couldn't do something for her, I couldn't help her. I was still in the throes of my own treatment. And so when I couldn't be there for her, and there's a story to it, I knew I would not stop until everyone in this world that wants someone there with them and to be there with them through the internet works. to have a buddy, to be able to share humor, hope, heart hugs, and a lot of love, I am not stopping until I can do that for them because I couldn't for my mom.
Okay, we were just looking at some problems. Clearly, I've got some technical problems tonight, and I don't know why that is. I haven't had any other problems normally, but you know what? Yeah, it's really tough though to find out that you have cancer. I mean, I've been blessed. I hope that I don't come down with cancer ever, but I certainly have been in the position where I've lost a lot of family now at this point
Right.
to cancer and friends.
Yeah.
And it's a very difficult thing. And so we're going to talk more shortly here about how you started your nonprofit foundation, Chemo Buddies for Life, and how that's helping people and making a really positive impact in that community, that people are either have cancer, been through cancer, or have a loved one that has cancer, or is there maybe to help support those that are going through this. um, but before we do that, I'd like you to talk. I know that I kind of got to know you last year. They had a competition. It was called the Next Impactor. I think what I'd like to try and do is attempt, we'll see how well this works, to play a video here for you. But tell us a little bit about it, and then we'll get that video queued up and play this video from last year. But you were in this competition, the Next Impactor. Tell the viewers about that.
Yes, it's a competition that over 200 people throughout the world entered, and two gentlemen co-founded the whole concept, and they put it out there, and they said it's a race against time, not against each other, to make a difference throughout the world. And I I actually knew one of the coaches, and I knew the coach, and I knew I wanted to work with that coach, and that was going to be the prize. And so I thought, okay, I'm in. I have no idea when I'm joining. And my senior ambassador at the time and I talked about it, and we were like, okay, yeah, this is a good idea. And I joined, and it was 9 months of a wild ride. And the night, it was a year ago yesterday,
Right.
that what you're going to queue up took place. Yeah.
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and cue that video up? Let's see how this works for us.
Welcome to tonight's outstanding event, the Next Impactor. Are you guys excited? Yes.
It's not about us as much as it is about our impact. And so I am so grateful for the causes that we're working with.
Our 2019 Next Impactor winner, Tamara Hunter.
Okay. Few glitches there. I think it's my computer, folks, but bear with it. That was great. I watched that whole event. That was like 3 hours long, that event. You were
Yeah.
filming, I remember as well.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, yeah, the stream that was going out was my phone on my tripod. It was my gear. And
Right.
so, yeah, and I had to put it in the back. That was the only place. And thank goodness I have a really tall tripod that I brought from Southern California out to Chicagoland. And so then, yeah, I kept going back and forth from wherever I was in that beaded dress and trying to be where I'm supposed to be, and then going back and checking and everything. And it all worked. It all
Yes,
worked.
it did, and that was a beautiful dress, by the way,
Oh,
absolutely,
thank
and you
you.
looked just absolutely stunning. Um, you ended up winning. That's what it was. You were the top spot, the Next Impactor, and so I want you to tell the viewers about how becoming that Next Impactor helped you with particularly your purpose and your mission, which was the Chemo Buddies for Life. I know that you weren't necessarily working with that during that competition, you were helping others, nonprofits. But
Right.
how did that make an impact on you after you won that event?
Well, great question. And the way that it made an impact on me is that, first of all, I ran under my name. I could have chosen to run under the nonprofit's name. However, I felt that there's a bigger story to even why people end up sometimes with cancer. And so I ran under my name. And yes, during the contest or the race against time, I couldn't, if you will, have my nonprofit or the 501c3 be a part of the race. So I had another 501c3 that I was teaming with. What it did, though, however, is that many of the impactors, many of them ended up coming and joining our organization, and they're still with us today. And we then, with the coaches that I won, we went straight into the event of which you, Stephen, were live for 4 hours with us there in Florida. And we went straight into a 36-hour Giving Tuesday event that we had over 60 volunteers. We had over 50 people that came on for those 36 hours. We had multiple teams. There was so much behind the scenes that was taking place. And because of the Next Impactor, we were able to get it going to that scale. And we're doing it bigger this year again.
I'm excited for this year as well. That was a great event, last 36 hours straight, folks. 36 hours straight. It was epic. I was proud to be a part of that and help support Tamara and the Chemo Buddies for Life. What a great organization. Now, have you explained maybe a little bit about Chemo Buddies for Life, or maybe you would, for the viewers to help them familiarize themselves with this community and how this might be able to help them if they're going through cancer or know of somebody that is?
Yes, thank you. We like to say we're the Buddies Network, and that we are healing through connections. We're unique and different. We may be in that lane with some of the other 501c3s that support cancer, but we're uniquely set apart because there was nothing like this. I would have thrown my energy behind something else if there had been. We are all about the people. We're not about research, and we're not about what type of treatment someone chooses. You see, we are truly about the people, the connection, the healing through connection within yourself, healing through connections with another or a few other buddies, and healing through connection within the community. We really do have a unique feel and determination and love, and it feels more like a family than anything else what we have created. We're not raising any type of funding for research, or we haven't taken a stand on any of it. The only stand we take is this: don't do it alone, and believe in whatever treatment you choose. You need to believe that it is the answer for you. Truly, truly know and believe. And then we're going to be there with you. We support both the patient and that person that loves and supports them, because those are two distinct chairs. And anybody that's been around anything where you have someone that's involved, let's say a team member on a sports team, and then you have the fan in the stands. They're coming from two different places. Same thing with cancer and any other kind of disease, if you will. And so when these two people are talking, sometimes it feels like this, because they're not connecting. They don't talk with each other. They sometimes talk at each other, and it creates even that much of a stress. And whatever you come to cancer with in the relationship, it gets like 10x it sometimes because of it. So if you have someone that you can talk with, and they understand you, and you're like, oh yeah, yeah, we're jamming here, we're talking. Then you get it out, and you can ask, do you feel this way? On and on. Are these just the symptoms, whatever it may be, and then you get the, and if you're having a bad day, a chocolate day, we call them, you can get it out, and the support people can too. And so then when you do that, it's like the shoulders feel better. You're like, oh, okay, I'm good now. I got that off of my chest. I got it off my shoulders. Now you can come back together with those that you love and care for from the two different chairs. And it can be more of that union that we all want to see in our lives. And too many have been letting go, that it's been destroying too many. So when I was doing the due diligence for this, that was one of the things because I interviewed a lot of people, and that was one of the reoccurring themes that I kept hearing, is how it was basically destroying families and people. And it wasn't because of the cellular issue thing. It wasn't because of the tumor. It wasn't because of the medicine. None of it. It was the stress. It was the stress, and it was the lack of feeling like they could find a way to, talk and then chill and laugh and find hope and stuff.
I mean, people are going through that right now too, on top of it with the COVID,
Yes.
and that's jeopardizing people's health, and it's making a lot of people stressed and pressured. And stress is not an easy thing to deal with. Now, I know that you have a private community for the Chemo
Yes.
Buddies, and every day you're doing something a little bit different. And it is like an opportunity to talk to others, be in a safe environment, not have to worry about somebody having an opinion, or even being, and maybe you'll explain this, because of course it's not something that I can necessarily relate to, but what happens is somebody finds out that they have cancer, and the next thing you know, they isolate themselves.
Yes. And yes. And this is what is so important for people to understand, that it has been documented and in medical journals, guys, science, that if you do isolate yourself, your percentage of making it 5 years or longer has diminished. And not even to mention the quality of life that is just not even going to be the same as if you are socialized. Now you say, what about, a pandemic? You're already isolating because of the fact that you're going through whatever treatment, your immunities are down. Yes, I get it. I got it. We got it. We got you. We got your back. Because when I was going through mine 6 years ago almost, I called it solitary confinement. A lot of people would say it's very similar to like what we're dealing with COVID. And so when COVID started, we actually opened up our doors, if you will, and we said, if you are feeling that stress from it, and you're feeling that suffering, and we want to ease your suffering due to isolation, because we got it down. We got figured out. We have a closed group, and we get together every single day in Facebook in this closed group. Yes, we monitor it. Yes, it's safe. And it's different subjects. Sometimes it's a good old family game night, which it's so much fun. Or it might be like subject matter. When COVID started, we had some people come in that were teaching us exactly what to do, because our buddies were at real risk, and they got through it like champs, because they were there, they engaged, they learned, and they know each other. They look forward to it, and they chat. We don't call it a group meeting. We don't call it a show. We call it a chat, because they chat with their fingers.
Yes, I've had a lot of fun, and I'm a buddy too as well. I'm a support buddy is what I am, and I'm there to help others, and just to listen and to share and to play. Like, I love the Wheel of Fortune game, by the way.
Game night. I know, it's so either people love it or
Yes.
they leave it, but I love it
Right.
too. I love it. That's a fun
Yes.
night. Yeah.
It is a lot of fun, and it's just about supporting the community here,
Yeah.
and so that's what you're doing, and I'm just so proud of you, Tamara, for all that you're doing with this foundation. And I'm glad to have met you. I came across you on the Next Impactor, but then I followed you, and I stayed there, and then, like you say, we did this fundraising last year. That was so much fun, and then I try when I can to go in and go into that private group. Um, Now, I just want to remind everybody that you are watching this evening. It's a town hall. It's a get to know. We're getting to know Tamara L. Hunter, excuse me. She was the Next Impactor last year for 2019, and she is making a super positive impact in the community, and that's what this show is about, is that people who are making a huge contribution to making community better and being there and giving of themselves. If you're watching on the Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, we want you to share this video out. We want you to share this with your friends in the groups that you belong to. This is brought to you by the LWN Live with Nature Foundation. We are a nonprofit as well. We're trying to do the same thing, reach out and help people and get them the resources like Chemo Buddies for Life to be able to have a place to go if they're suffering from either cancer or someone that they know is. And it's such a great organization. And that's another reason, other than I'm so proud of Tamara for everything that she's doing, is why she's here tonight. We want to raise the awareness that there are answers, and there's friends, and there's people that care about you out there. You're looking at two of them. We care about you.
Yes.
Now, I'm trying to not say I guess
That's
I'm not
okay. I
using
want
that
to recognize,
affirmation enough.
if you don't mind, I would like to recognize some of the
Yes,
ambassadors that are mentioning things, and
let's do
Sherry
that. Let's
just,
bring some of these up here.
okay.
Let's bring up
Yes.
some of these comments.
Yes.
So
I
let's
love it.
recognize some of the comments here.
Yes, we have ambassadors that will welcome people to the shows, and so they're welcoming me. I love it. I love it. And yes, you're not alone. Yeah.
Sherry is one of the ambassadors.
Yeah, she's one of our senior ambassadors, and she's also one of our chat co-hosts. She runs the production piece of it primarily. However, she's a co-host on our Thankful Thursdays. She and Carol Berzens, and Carol has been she's been our production person. She was one of our production gurus, let's just say, for the 36-hour event. And I don't know what we would do without these amazing, there she is, amazing
yes, I want to
volunteers.
bring up Carol too,
Yes.
as well. I'm getting to know Sherry. I don't know Sherry as well as I know Carol. Carol, myself, yourself, Christopher Kaysen. I don't know if he's watching this evening or not, but we were all doing live streaming together last year at the
Yes.
fundraiser. It was
Yes.
absolutely epic. And Carol is one of the senior ambassadors, and
Mhm.
she is doing a fantastic job. I just want to personally acknowledge her for all that she does. And she's got another exciting event coming up for us this year too, but we won't spill the beans yet about it.
No, I will say this about it, though, is that she is from Canada.
Yeah.
And she made a really big deal a couple years ago that she was going to take Canada. She just like, we're taking Canada for the buddies. And oh my golly, gee willikers, we are taking Canada. And because, that was why I ran for the global Next Impactor, is to go global with a program that is actually working. It works. It works. And to have your doctors, my doctors and my nurses were the ones to convince me to do something. They were on me every time I went in. Now, when are you going to do something? When are you going to do something? Because they saw myself, and I had a buddy that I had met. And we traveled our journey together for about a year and a half. And they saw that raised the frequency for others. And they wanted that for others everywhere because they saw what was happening. We had a huge party, and there was we did it up big, a luau. We had coconut bras on the chemo poles, we had big wigs, we had luau's, we brought in all the garb and stuff. We had the Beach Boys playing, and we said, just go ahead and load it the way you want in the chemo room, like invite them to a party because it's a luau. Kept always saying, when are you going to do something? And then finally, half a year later, they said, I got to tell you something. That lady that was smiling at the luau for the graduation, it was the only time we ever saw her smile, and she was the sickest one in the room. However, she just passed and gained her wings. She gave up. And
no.
And what's even worse is that she just didn't, they were letting us know that basically she didn't have the humor and the hope and the heart and the hugs and the love when she was here. And when I heard that and knew that that was all because of a big party that we had been planning, because we had been in treatment for a year and a half, and we finally were graduating and we were celebrating with everybody, and she celebrated with us. And then in a half a year, she was gone. She gained her wings. And that...
You brought up a good point, Tamara. And that is that if a cancer patient gives up, or even anybody, no matter what you're facing, give up, end up in depression and sadness and feel like I don't need to be here stuff. Hey, we're talking to you. We love you and we care about you, and we will get you support and help.
Yeah.
There is hope, no matter how dark it seems. And the person that actually, I believe in God. God does miracles. Anything is possible. So the point is that people can literally think themselves healthy again. It can happen.
Oh yeah, we're seeing it. We're seeing it.
Yes, and so I wanted you to also let them know, the viewers, you're being endorsed by the medical community. They think it's that positive that having a friend, having somebody that they can talk to, makes such a huge difference.
Yes, in fact, you have a clip, and there's a doctor in there. That's actually my doctor that interviewed, because he kept on and on. You need to do something. And so I said, okay, if I'm going to do something, you got to show up too. You got to help here. And so he actually filmed with us. And part of that time is in a small clip that I provided for you, Stephen, to share, because he absolutely knew. There was a study out of the UK, out of the United Kingdom, in 2017 that states very, very, very clearly that if you are going through, and it talks about chemotherapy, if you are going through chemotherapy and if you are isolated and alone, and it talks about socialization, we call them buddies, and it says if you isolate, you are not going to do as well as someone that is a part of a community. And then there are so many more studies about community. Community is one of the healthiest things that you can actually do as a choice, is to be involved in one, and to have one that is constantly working on raising the vibration and the healing properties of something as simple as love. We are all about raising that frequency with love. So much so that this next year, Giving Tuesday, we are calling it the Tour of Love. The world needs it more than ever right now. So we're going on a tour, a virtual tour. Yes.
That's The part you're giving up. Yes, it is a tour. It is a tour of love, and it's going to be so awesome.
Yeah.
And that's what you share. It is your love and your compassion for others because you have been through this. You know what it's like to face this stuff. I tell you what I'd like to do. We have a piece of film here. Here we have that's specifically about Chemo Buddies. Let's go ahead and play that clip for us.
Life is so fragile, and we're constantly reminded just how fragile life can be, especially when we or a loved one is told we have cancer. Cancer survivor myself, I can tell you, we still feel very alone in this journey.
There's a study that's been shown that patients who are socially isolated have a worse prognosis, have a worse outcome than patients who are socially interconnected.
Chemo Buddies for Life is a non-profit cancer support group for those whose life has been impacted by cancer. We'll match you with the perfect buddy. Humor, hope, heart, and hugs.
Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
We're offering you a free membership, so please sign up today. Share this with your friends and family, and support this community in every way you can. No one should face cancer alone.
I am a Chemo Buddy for life.
We are a Buddies Network.
No one does cancer alone.
Be a buddy.
And we are all here for you as a community of love.
We are Chemo Buddies for life.
And if you've heard 3 words, you have cancer, for yourself or someone else, you belong with us at Chemo Buddies for life.
Healing through connections.
Healing through connection, Tamara. That's a beautiful film. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you. Yes, one of our board members, we're very, very fortunate. He's actually a buddy. He's been one of the buddies since the very inception of this organization, and that's his voice. And he's the one that then produced it, Skip Thomas. And we have so many like yourself, Stephen, and those that you've mentioned, so many that haven't been mentioned. And that there are so many amazing people involved, and we have just begun. I didn't see, let's see, remember who, welcome.
Yeah, let's put that back up here. We'll get that back up. It's Helene. And Helene, hello, we love you too very much, dearly.
And so proud. Let's see, I remember the night, and it was an awesome birthday gift seeing that yes, she was so proud. Yes, Helene is one of my buddies. See, we all have buddies. And when Helene came, we had the same cancer, and you drill down on the biology of our tumors, and very similar. And so I became her buddy, and we have walked the journey together. We walk the journey with all of our buddies, with all of our community. And that is what is so unique about us, is because we really do get to know each other for those that want to get to know us. And there's some that are on the fringes, and they'll engage at some point if they want. In fact, the celebration journal right here is one of the things that we, right off the bat, when someone goes to the website, the cb4l.org. I noticed that the streamer kind of cut it off a little bit, but cb4l.org.
Yeah,
and
get that for you.
Yes, and cb4l.org. You go there, and then you can get one of the PDFs of the celebration journal right away. And it really kind of tells you just a little bit about the idea of buddies, and it walks you through in a real fun way, because I love movies. And so we talk about the Yellow Brick Road and how Dorothy met buddies along the way on her journey. And yeah, sometimes you might run into a flying monkey or two, or maybe a wicked witch on a broom, but hey, there's nothing you can't do with water. So, it's amazing. We got plenty of it right down below us. And so, it's a matter of attitude. It's a matter of the way you come at it. And we're real, we're real. You know, I don't want people to think, because I have a smile all the time, that we don't talk about stuff that might hurt. Hey, we do. I've cried plenty of tears, and then I end up laughing, and then everybody laughs at me because I laugh like a donkey. So, you know, it's like, it's just a fun time all around. But we're able to get through it together.
Well, that's what it is. It's connection, and I know that's been a recurring statement since the first time I've heard you speak about Chemo Buddies. Is that connection, healing?
Yeah, healing through.
And yet it's even more than that. It's more than just healing through just a simple connection and knowing somebody. You do the activities in this group, and that's the real connection. And playing games or talking about certain topics, and you can explain it better than I, because as much as I love your, you know, daily shows, I don't get to see all of them. So maybe you can explain the different themes, because you have different themes. Isn't that true?
Yes, we do. In fact, we have one of on cue right now. Erin is going to, tonight with Kim, they're going to be hosting Magic Monday. And Erin's one of the original duos on that magical mystery tour sometimes that you take. And we're always learning something cool. And we have Travel Tuesday. We started that because, hey, we're tongue in cheek sometimes. We started that during COVID. No one can travel. So, hey, we'll travel on a Tuesday wherever we want. And so that's kind of like a lot of fun. Christopher Kaysen actually was the thought behind that one, the inspiration for it, because he had just been, when he was in 36 hours away, he was in Cambodia and all other places. So he came to educate us and share with us about that. Then we have What's Up Wednesday. It's more of our health and wellness day, but hey, why be boring? So we call it What's Up Wednesday, you know, like, what are you going to teach us? Then we have Thankful Thursday. You got to show gratitude. Gratitude is an attitude, and we believe in it. And being grateful for sometimes the simplest things, when you don't know that you can even get through a moment, and a minute is way too long. I've been there. I know what that feels like. And so you concentrate on the moment, and then you think about, what am I grateful for? Then we have TGIF Friday. That's like an open party time. Anybody comes in, and right? Oh, it's crazy. It can be crazy fun. And then we have Success Saturday, where Barbara Beckley is teaching us all sorts of amazing skills and concepts and real, you know, things that are good for us to know. And then we have game night on Sunday. It's, you know, Sunday fun night, you know, Sunday game night, family night. And then it starts all over again. And then sometimes we're entertained. We have a lot of actually professionals that have, you know, amazing talents that have come in and shared with us. We have everything from music to poetry to, you know, I mean, and we're talking amazing presentation of poetry, to, you know, art, healing through nature, healing through all these different concepts and modalities and ways of thinking. And it's all about this. It's when you really think about it, many of us are in tune to understanding we need to be able to clean out our systems, everything from eating right and drinking. And we get up, we have hashtag time to move in the morning, you know, right. So we also have bed check, you know, make a bed, face the world. So yeah, we do bed check. Have you made your bed yet? You know, even if you're getting right back in it, that's okay.
If you want to change the world, folks,
make your bed.
Start by making your bed.
That's right. That's right. We get down to the bare bones, baby steps. And what we need.
I love that video. That's Admiral. What's
William McRaven. Yes. So William awesome. McRaven. Yes. And we have and we talk about our superpower. What's your superpower? And what's your kryptonite? I know mine. Mine is the sun. We've talked about it. And mosquitoes. I'm allergic to both. So they're my kryptonite. I know it. I stay away from them. However, what's your superpower? And what's your theme song? What's your hero's theme song? And so when you're empowered and it you know, something like intentional, like making your bed, that's a decision. That is an action. And right now in COVID, a lot of people are like, I don't really get right back in it. That doesn't work, doesn't fly. It is the intention to get through that day, even if you're not going anywhere and no one's coming. It doesn't matter. It is the activity, because then you have gone forward. Because many people start by being stuck. And then when you're stuck, what does that do? Sometimes the poopy attitude, feeling sorry for yourself, like, oh, life's really crummy, I'm stuck. Well, no, make your bed, change the world, change it. Time to move. Let's move through this. Hashtag time to move. Yes.
And I am that is really awesome, because you know, I've been doing these videos in the morning for a long time, and I'm seeing more and more people getting up in the morning, getting out, and it's really cool. I love it.
Yeah.
And it's so cool because I can watch the sun coming up out there in California.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time in California. I do love it out there, but I like to visit anymore. But
well, I would like to brag if I can, because what we're doing in conjunction with the Next Impactor second season is that we started this to see how many times around the world we could get and where we could go. And we now, Carol Berzens out of Canada, she has gone live. Many of us are going live now, and we're encouraging others to with hashtag time to move. Well, she's now got 2 groups that have started in Canada because she started hashtag time to move and going out there, and she is the admin for the Time to Move group that we have separate than the buddies, because of the fact that we, you know, I'm not about being in your face except for when I'm in your face. But, you know, however, there's certain things that you need to be respectful and understand. And when we have some people that are just not there, they're not there yet. That's okay. They're showing up, and then they'll get there. So we have things, you know, we have ways for everybody to grow into the next level. And that's one thing that I'm the proudest of, is we find out what someone wants to grow into, and then we find a way to make it happen.
That's so awesome. And so you're so adaptable, and it is about adaptability. But I also want to mention something that you had said earlier that's so important, and it's something that I talk about all the time, and it is gratitude.
Yes.
And it is getting into that routine. For me, is first thing I do, say a prayer of gratitude. And when I do that, that starts to set the stage for my day.
Yeah.
And when I'm happy because I'm grateful, life tends to go a lot more easier. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to face some challenges, because we all do, right?
Right.
The difference is that with the Chemo Buddies for Life network, you've got somebody to reach out to that you can talk to. And so
right.
What would you suggest to the viewers if they have cancer, or they know somebody that has cancer, or they're a family member of somebody that has cancer? What advice would you give to them right now, Tamara?
Well, number one, first of all, is breathe. Breathe. You know, so many times when you're faced with those words, all of a sudden you feel like you're on the hamster wheel. No, breathe. Then make sure that you believe in your treatment. And if you don't know what your treatment's going to be, then there are ways of being able to find it. Then find us. because we recognize those people that are going through testing, if you haven't found out. And sometimes the testing part is the scariest because you don't know. You're kind of thinking maybe, maybe not sure what's going on, what's up. And so we're there. And then realize that you are truly important, that you are a buddy. Come and be a part of the Buddies Network, however you feel comfortable in the beginning, because we always are respectful of that. And then you can tip your toe in and tip it out and tip it in, tip it out, whatever you want to do. However, it's your choice. And I love that about the gratitude, because I will say this. If you're also going through the treatment right now and you're saying, yeah, no, she's got too much energy for me, I'm not feeling it, I understand. When I said that I couldn't get through one moment, let alone 1 minute, I'm talking the truth. I won the lottery on side effects. And so I ended up implementing the gratitude attitude by actually naming what I was grateful for every day. And sometimes it was through tears, and I had no voice. I lost my voice, much more than that. My face was all nothing but, it wasn't good. And so much more, guys. I was in so much pain. Yet I would find reasons to be grateful. I had clean water, even though it was hard to drink. I had a straw. I had a pillow, and I had a bed with a roof. I had clean pajamas. You know, when I started looking at what I had, oh my golly, gee willikers, I knew I couldn't feel sorry for myself. I couldn't. And I knew I was going to get through it. One more moment. I wasn't looking at the minute. I was in the moment. And so I want you to understand that we understand. And so, yeah, I got a lot of energy because I know what we're doing matters. I have seen how it changes lives. I know our program works, and I have been there, and now I know what we've got to offer. By golly, of course I've got a lot of joy because it's working. The only thing now is for more to come so we can serve more. And guess what?
What?
We let you work. We let you serve others because that's part of the therapy of helping ourselves.
When we serve other people, I found that that's the greatest happiness that I've ever experienced. It was so much better than anything I'd ever done in the past, is to serve the community, because when I do this stuff, and I benefit too.
Mm-hmm.
I learn something. And so I get something out of it. Somebody else gets something out of it. When you pay it forward without expectation of having to get something for that,
Right.
it's, if you haven't done it, you have to try it, because then you'll know. You can have that gratitude. So I do want to address a quick question here. We're just about out of time, but Sherry McQueen had asked about what is the LWN Foundation. The LWN Foundation is a nonprofit that I've started. It just started this year. It's to be there to help support people like Tamara and Chemo Buddies for Life. Ultimately, our goal is this: is that we plan to be opening very soon a referral center. That referral center is going to help people get the resources that they need, whether it's mental health help, whether it's support for cancer treatment, whether it's clothing or food or housing. If you're homeless, it's a hand up. Mental health issues, addiction recovery. We're building this huge network of people that we can get you the help. That's what we do. We are a resource for positive transformational change. That's what the LWN is all about. It's about serving the community, helping others, and then supporting other nonprofits as we move forward. Hopefully someday we'll have plenty of money to be able to not only run our own programs, but help support other programs like the Chemo Buddies for life. So that's what the LWN is about. It's about a connection to nature. It's about a connection to source, and it's a connection to the community. That's what we are, and we appreciate that. Now, do you have some? Just before I'm going to turn it over to you in just one moment and let you close out. Let people know how they can reach you as well, Tamara, and get involved in the Chemo Buddies for Life. If you're not a buddy now, or you want to become a buddy, we're going to put up the link. Please do join up. Go to that website, sign up. Be one of the best things you've ever done for yourself as well as the community. But I want to mention to everybody, September 13th, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 12 noon Pacific. We are going to be having what I consider to be an epic mental health awareness show. It is about coping with the pandemic, and it is about navigating our mental health issues through this pandemic, through COVID-19. I've got a whole panel of doctors and professionals that are going to be helping us. I also have a wonderful gentleman. I'm so grateful that he is going to be with us as well, Christopher Kaysen, who is also involved in the Chemo Buddies. He's going to be with us too, and he's coping with the pandemic as well as his autism and trying to adapt and trying to rebuild his business because he lost business. So it's going to be a great opportunity to learn, to grow, and to listen to the experts talk about it. Okay, so I want you to join me on September 13th. That is a live streaming 2-hour special. Go ahead and close us out here, Tamara.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Stephen. Thank you for this time on your town hall. I appreciate you so very much, and for the service that you give to our community of buddies. If you or anyone you know is facing cancer and feels isolated and alone, if you or anyone you know is feeling as though they are overwhelmed, depressed, isolated, that they just don't know what side is up, if it's due to cancer because they either have it themselves or they've known someone that it's affected them, or now because of the pandemic, we are here for you. Chemo Buddies for Life community on Facebook is where we gather. I want you to go there. I want you to go to Chemo Buddies for Life community. It's a closed group. Ask to join. Then also go to our website, which is cb4l.org, cb4l.org. And we'll look forward to meeting you. And yes, you'll join us with a lot of humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
Thank you so very much. It is about love. It is about a tour of love coming up. And it's about us helping you get to know Tamara Hunter. Thank you for joining us, everybody. We appreciate you. Remember, we are here live every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join us on Wednesday. We're talking about going back to school and all the stress that that's bringing on. And we're talking with Dr. Jenny on the Ask Dr. Jenny show at 7 p.m. Join us then. We'll see you soon. Take care. God bless you. Thank you so very much for joining us this evening, Tamara.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye.